thank you, Jeff, and I acknowledge you and the members, committee members of the Chamber and the traditional owners of the land on which we gathered tonight. Just to fill you in a little bit on personal details, many of you I don't know. I was born in Toowoomba. My dad was one teacher, school teacher at Hayden at the time, and I divorced, had 3 adult children. I was reared, because my mother died shortly after I was born, on the family farm at Fernvale, in the Brisbane Valley, just below the Wivenhoe Dam, where I attended primary school. I was thereafter educated in Brisbane and subsequently obtained articles of clerkship in 1967 and went to UQ at night, as you could do law in those days. After being admitted and working in Brisbane for a couple of years, I came to Toowoomba with the assistance of a local practitioner. I set up my own practice in 1976, and on that, I'd saved up, as I recall, about $3,000, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see how I went. And if it failed, then that would be all that I would have done, $3,000. Anyway, I'm still here, and from that started employing one person, female, 3 hours a day. When I sold my interest in the firm in 1998, the firm was firmly established not just here but in Brisbane, and employed at that stage, I think, around about 90 people. And I think they've gone on now Australia-wide to employ around about 300. So I'm very proud of what they've achieved, not my achievement, but what they've achieved for a Toowoomba business, which is significant now, a Toowoomba business and Toowoomba employer. I'm very grateful to the people of Toowoomba for having supported me in my business, in my profession, but I'm also grateful for the lifestyle that I've enjoyed in Toowoomba and the many friends and acquaintances that I've made over the years, particularly in areas like sport. Toowoomba's a great place to live. After I sold out in '98, I, with another colleague, set up a practice at Browns Plains and came back to Toowoomba at weekends. The contrast between, if you've ever been to Browns Plains, the contrast between there and Toowoomba, it's good to get away occasionally just to realise how lucky we are in this town. Anyway, that basically explains in a very brief way what my business background has been. I think it's important for all of the candidates to indicate that to a meeting such as this. But I also indicate that I've been a member of this organisation. I first joined when it used to have its meetings at the Queen's Park kiosk, and going back some time, Paddy Noonan was the president, so you were still in primary school then, Jeffrey, or not even kindergarten, yes. So my association goes back a long way, and I think business people can accept that I, as their member, know what the challenges are for business, what it's like when you have your house mortgaged and on the line, and what it's like when every fortnight payday comes around and the bank rings up and those sorts of challenges. Now, recently, the leader of the LNP was in town, and on TV he said words to the effect, Kerry shine, yes, you see him everywhere and he goes to everything, but what's he ever done? Well, an answer, covering only the period of the last 3 years, is a brochure which hopefully will be distributed tonight. Will be out there so you can read that in detail. I can say that beyond that, it includes things like the purchase of the land for the new high school at the Highfields. But beyond that, the achievements prior to that 3 years include playing a big part in the water security for Toowoomba with the pipeline from Wivenhoe, the building recently of the cancer accommodation, or the acquisition of the cancer accommodation lodge in Toowoomba, the equestrian centre at the showgrounds, the new police complex, Union and Neil Streets, the fire station in Toowoomba at Kitchener and at Highfields as well, ambulance station at Highfields, funding of the new Catholic school at Highfields, 95% of that funding at Mary McKillop, new TAFE buildings, redevelopment of the athletic oval, numerous grants to schools, state and non-state, increased grants for disability sector, new buildings for health, sporting facilities including the Criterium track, large contribution to the state there, and the bulk of the funding to the new tennis centre. These are some, they are literally only some of the things that I've been able to win for Toowoomba, as well as multitude of recurrent funding for Indigenous affairs, African employment measures, child safety and so on. Now when I first got elected, the common cry was Toowoomba always misses out. The Conservatives take it for granted, it's a safe area, they've never lost a seat here in the years, and Labor of course ignores it. That was the cry. I think from the record, if you peruse that document that I referred to and what I've just said, you can see that the BT and the Labor government has not taken Toowoomba for granted. And I respectfully suggest that my record indicates my worth as an effective and as a successful advocate. And for my part, I know that the longer I'm in it, the better the results, because really experience does count. So I'd ask Trevor tonight, when he next sees Mr. Newman, that to pass on that answer to his question, what has Kerry Shine ever done? I can help him with that further. If I were the people here, I would say, well, that's all right, that's what Kerry's done, but what has his government done? As you know, from 2008, Queensland, along with the rest of the world, underwent the greatest economic crisis, second only to the Great Depression of 1929. To meet the challenge, strong and courageous leadership was required. The government's task was to get Queensland through this great crisis, which places like Greece and Spain and Ireland and even the United States are still struggling with, without widespread unemployment. This has been achieved by the taking of sometimes unpopular, but in my view, necessary measures. At no time did the government take the easy course of sacking public servants or stopping capital works. The Mortgage government, for example, in their first 6 months, froze all capital works programs, massive unemployment as a result. The interest of workers and small business were and are paramount. Our economic performance is growing at the rate of, economy is growing at the rate of 4.25%, double the rate across developed economies, and Queensland itself is 1 full percentage point ahead of the rest of the nation. And we lead the nation in generating jobs. Unemployment rate is 5.4, compared with 9.8 under the last Liberal Country Party government. We are undergoing an unprecedented investment surge, and the figures therefore show an economy that is performing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to take into consideration my record as a member, along with the record of the government. And I also ask you to remember that I am the only Labor member south or west of Ipswich, and that it's worthwhile, whether we're in government or the LNP, to have a dissenting voice in our region, the sort of voice that Mike Oren did perform so well for about 19 years. Thank you.